All right, how's it going, party people? It's Caravan Dan from Gaming Caravan. Let's go into my top 30 board games from 30 to 21 according to PubMeeple. I've been arguing this list the whole time, but now we're going to get into some good picks, some actually good picks of these games that should be in my top 100. If you're watching this video, Stockpile is probably live on Kickstarter. It's only live for 10 days, and it's a Kickstarter exclusive game. The PnP files will be available more expensive later, so if you want to get access to the game right now, it is a simultaneous print and play game that we will actually be selling some limited physical copies on right now. Go ahead and support if you like supporting Caravan Convoy, Gaming Caravan, all our free events, and YouTube channel that we do here in Central Florida. Starting off strong with number 30, we got Scythe. Now, ironically enough, Scythe is currently on my chopping block. It's in the Games I'm Gonna Sell catalog. I don't know where it is exactly right here. And I wanted to show you every single physical game, but I do not seem to have a few of them, and I don't want to say the name like I was about to, because I don't want to spoil anything. But Scythe is a good game. It was one of the first games I got in the genre, like one of the first games I played at all when I got into this industry professionally back in 2023, January. I think I played it technically December 31st, or I played it January 1st of 2023. And this was a fun game. This was a good game. Had a great time, very impressive, very overwhelming for someone who only played like Risk and Catan and Carcassonne before that. But I like this game. It's a good area control building game, a game where like war is definitely an option, but not one that anyone wants to go down. War hurts you and the other person, but more so those who initiate unless you're trying to get some objectives. Leading the game and like starting the end game is not always beneficial for people just to race to the end, but it is a strategy for those who already have the lead. Very fun game, great Stonemaier game. This is one of the games that made me a Stonemaier fanboy 100%. This and Wingspan. And we'll go into that in a second. But that is Scythe. Super fun, super cool game. Definitely check it out. Next, we're going into the next game, number 29. Ooh, number 29 is, and by the way, I'm new to using this. Drop in the comments if you like this stand I'm doing instead of having the overlay on the videos. I'm still doing the overlay for the game covers, but that's it. This is Potion Explosion at number 29. If you don't know Potion Explosion, it's a super unique marble-based game. And out in Kansas, we don't do much other than marbles. You know what I mean? There's not very many appropriate activities for youth to partake in, especially not one of a pastor's child, especially when both your parents are pastors. Marbles is a super cool thing, and I have a good time with unique mechanisms in board games that aren't just like bad. A lot of games have unique things that aren't good. This one has a unique mechanism with unique features, and it's a fun game. I play this game repeatedly. You can play it well at 2 players, 3 players, 4 players. I've only lost the game maybe twice, and that's when I was teaching it and trying to answer 500 questions. You guys know how it is when you're teaching games. If you hear little pitter-patters, that's my dog Luna, by the way, so sorry about that. Potion Explosion is a game where we're trying to make chains as much as humanly possible. What happens is there are 5 rows of marbles, and when you remove one, there are a bunch of different colors marbles. I think it's 6 different colored marbles. Whenever you remove one marble, you collect that marble into your pot, and whenever you, what you want to do is you want to have marbles of the same color touching whenever you remove a marble. That way, if multiple of the same colors are touching, you'll collect all of them, no matter if it's like 100. That's not going to happen. But even if it's like 10 marbles that are touching in one line somehow, if you move one and all of them are the same color, even if they were already touching beforehand, you collect those as well. But it's a really satisfying game you can collect and play. There's a lot of expansions that aren't allowed in America, apparently, because of fulfillment stuff from Horrible Guild. Horrible Guild makes some fantastic bangers like Spotlight, Evergreen. I'm looking at the other ones I have right here. Dang, Luna is excited about something. But yeah, Horrible Guild makes a ton of super cool games. Oh, Railroad Inc. is another one of them. But Potion Explosion is definitely their most unique of a board game, and I want to see more of this game. And I want to get the like 20th anniversary, something like that, copy. Definitely sign me up for this game. This is a great pick in my top 30s, and I'm surprised, honestly, Potion Explosion specifically is not higher. Next up, number 28, we have Canvas. Now, Canvas is a game that I teach people. And this is like my go-to game for people who are smart enough to understand but are not real board gamers yet. This is number 28, and Canvas has 2 expansions, and I have not played either of the expansions. But I heard it just makes the game even better. Canvas, I'll show you right now. It's so pretty and innovative. This one makes sense to have on a lot of people's top 100s, if not everyone's. This is the box cover, and it's a very pretty portrait and all that stuff. Like, look at this. Very clean, very nice. The edges are colored well. It's thin. And when you go on the back, there's actually a hook on the back specifically for, dang, she is excited for something. There's a hook on the back specifically for you to hang it up as an art piece around your house, which I so want to do. And almost everyone I know that owns Canvas does that with it. There's a big box edition as well for you to actually have the big box store all the expansions, all the extra little chits for the game. But Canvas is a nice 1 to 5 player game that's for about 30 minutes, it says, for 14 players and up, or 14 age 14 and up. Fun game, good game, unique, not super unique with the mechanisms, but in the sense of that you're building arts, you're building cards, so you're going to have some transparent cards that create a portrait, and you combine like 1 to 3 of those to fulfill certain objectives and recipes, and it's a public recipes for everyone to fulfill, but the better you do at it, the more points you get for it. It's a very nice, thinky game, especially if you like games like, what's it called? What's that series called? Gollum? Spice Road. If you like Spice Road, this is a nice game in that realm for you to take that's art focused. Now let's go ahead and go to number 27. I am speedrunning these a little bit more, but I do think better on my feet, which is why I'm quite literally setting up this video. Next up we have Carcassonne. Zone is one of the games I wanted to show you, but I don't have right now. I can't physically find my copy of Carcassonne. The issue is I keep on selling it because no one in my house wants to play Carcassonne with me. My parents don't understand Carcassonne. My mom would if she took the time to learn it. My dad, there's no shot. But Carcassonne's a very fun, one of the most basic tile placement games you'll find, but it's one of the truest. It's one of the ones that I think started the genre. Also, it's the reason why we have the word meeple, fun fact. I'm 90% sure that's accurate. The person, not even the creator of Carcassonne, but one of the people that are referencing Carcassonne, I believe, considered my people, and just put the phrase meeple, and then that just caught on the wildfire, and now we have this stupid copyright stuff going on with it right now. I love business sides. I love business. However, it can get pretty ugly when people copyright community-based phrases. However, Carcassonne is a nice tile placement game where you're going to place a tile, you draw one, you place one, and then you're going to, depending on where it is, you can choose it to be a worker anywhere on there, on that tile that you placed. So you want to connect certain cities maybe you want to extend paths, maybe you want to increase the farmland, maybe you want to put it into places to block, hurt, or help people, maybe help yourself, hurt others at the same time. But overall, it's not very take that game. Super fun. I've only won it like twice my entire life, and it plays great at 1 to 5 players. That is Carcassonne. Now next to 26. 26 is one of the games that my wife told me about a lot. My brother-in-law, he didn't talk at the time, but whenever he was referencing board games, this is one that like he kept on getting people to play and had a good time with it. When I first played it, my brain broke, and as you can already see, the name of it is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. I've never played the base form, because whenever I read the rules after playing Ares Expedition, it just seemed like a harder, almost worse version of Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. But I know that there is a... Oh. I forgot what I was saying, so sorry. But yeah, I know there's a community for both the Terraforming Mars and Terraforming Mars Ares, and also the Terraforming Mars Solo of Ares Expedition, but I am a huge fan of Ares Expedition. I think it's great. I think Roll for the Galaxy, something like that, was one of the first ones to utilize the whole I choose an action and then I get the better benefits if everyone takes that action. So my dog's going crazy right now. But I know that that's one of the games that created the mechanic, I think, but this is one I think perfected it from what I hear, from what I know. And I think I almost never win this game. I've only won it twice. There's a little bit too much asymmetry with the capital, with like the Jeez, she's going crazy. There's a little bit too much asymmetry with the abilities you get at the beginning of the game, especially since you both take 2 and choose 1. Some people get to choose the better ones than others. I don't think that should necessarily be a thing. And there's Expedition. I think everyone should have 1 of the same ones type stuff. Maybe you all get like 3 of the same that you get to choose from. I don't know, but I think that's stupid that sometimes someone gets like someone that gets like 6. Also, the game's a little bit too luck-based, surprisingly enough. It's about draw power. It's about drawing cards. And even if you try to go down a certain path, if you just don't get the card you want, you're just not going to get it. And I know that card games have that situation where, like, you know, it's about how many times you win out of how many times you played. Like 80% chance that you'll win if you win 8 of them and you play 10 times. I think it's a little bit too much luck in there, but it's still a great game. That's why it's number 26. I think it's fine for it to be 26. PubMeeple did a good job with that pick. Next up, and this is a good pick, I'll say that right now. I hate Splendor. Not really hate, I just very much dislike Splendor. It's on my list of games that I never have to play again, and I'm going to make a video for that specifically. If you like 9 to 5 Gamers, definitely check out his video, or if you don't know of him yet, he's a YouTuber that's also based in Central Florida. He did a list of like top 10 games he never wants to play again. I have my own list I was actually making when I saw that video, so it's nice to have some of the same games. But Pokemon Splendor is a great game. I don't like Splendor that much. I have played it relentlessly. I know it's a decent game. However, I've never scored double digits. And my ex/wife's family, and it's funny because like I married my ex. Anyways, but her family played that game relentlessly when we got together. This third time, which stuck because now we're married, and she stuck with me. But Pokemon Splendor is, in my opinion, an objectively better version of Splendor. There's contention in that statement. Marvel Splendor, I think is a good, different version of Splendor, not necessarily an upgrade because it does change the game in decent amounts, such as you have to have one of every color to win the game. The Avengers token was a nice symbol where like you have to consider, do I want this card or do I want the Avenger symbol and potentially get 2 more points, which is pretty nice. But Pokemon Splendor, in my opinion, is an objectively better game. In Pokemon Splendor, the turn rotation matters too much. Not just that, if someone's going after your strategy, even one other person on the table is going after your strategy, and you just get in the worst turn order, it sucks. It's complete garbage when someone can screw you over by getting a card that you were planning on getting, maybe you work like 9 turns to get, and like you change your... I've played the game so many times, I've done every single strategy, I know it's me. Guys, I'm not saying it's not me. I know I'm garbage at Splendor, that's not what we're talking about. I am saying Pokemon Splendor adds a mechanic that objectively makes the game better because you're no longer going after a single card. In Splendor, too often you're going after a single card because you're building towards that card. I need to get this card. If it goes away, your success hurts significantly. However, and even though I could reserve it, but a lot of times it gets flipped directly on a player's turn that they want it. And it's just, that's it. I can't do anything about that. It's kind of garbage. But in Pokemon Splendor, the evolution mechanic, that's optional. I know people who win the game that don't even evolve once. I do nothing but evolve the entire game, because in Pokemon Splendor, you're not trying to get a specific card, you're trying to get specific colors of cards, and that changes the ball game overall 100%. 100%. The cards you're going for, it doesn't feel so bad when you say, oh, you took my Stage 2 evolution Pokemon, took my Metapod, that's fine, I'm going to go after this other one, I don't know, the Kakuna. So stuff like that where like, it doesn't matter if you don't need to go after the exact same one. The only time that hurts is in Stage 3 Pokemon, because the way that Pokemon Splendor works, in Stage 1 Pokemon, the base Pokemon, the Weedles, the Caterpies, I don't know, I'm sticking with those, the Squirtles, Charmanders, there's 2 or 3 of those in the row 1 deck. In the middle row, the Stage 2 Pokemons, there's 1, most likely 2 of every single Stage 2 Pokemon. And in Stage 3 Pokemon, there's only 1 of each evolution tree. So if you want what you want and you know what you're going to build to, go ahead and grab that at the start of the game. And there's also legendaries, there's rare Pokemon. It's super cool. I'm a huge video game IP, if you don't know that already about me. Go ahead and go to my channel, see all my other video game IP videos I talk about it in. But regardless of IP, the evolution mechanic makes this game objectively better. Also longer, you play to 18 points, I believe. Dude, don't get me started. This just makes the game overall better, objectively speaking. If people don't like it, like, I don't get it. That's on you, buddy. Anyways, moving on. Great pick, number 25. Honestly, I could see it might be my top 20. I'm surprised it's not a little bit higher, but that's fair. I'm surprised it's higher than this pick, personally. Next up, we have number 24, Star Wars, a deck-building game, Clone Wars edition specifically. Now, the deck-building game is also on here, for the record. I combine both of them. When there's a system in play, I put both systems on my list. And this is specifically both games, the base game and Clone Wars Edition. Star Wars deck building game is a very impressive, almost LCG-like game that I'm excited to see more stuff out of. I'm excited to see more content. I want to see the sequels. I want to see... I know they did Clone Wars because it's kind of the TV show, kind of the movies. I would prefer they did one for the prequels, one for the cartoon with just the cartoon artwork, one for maybe do the modern day, like the Mandalorian specifically. I could see that 100%. You do Moff Gideon's versus Mandalorian. You can do a lot of deep cuts as well. You can do the High Empire, or not High Empire, the High Council. What's it called? The High Jedi? No, they're not high. I think it's called the High Council, High Temple. Whatever. You can do Knights of the Old Republic. You can do a lot of Star Wars content specifically cut up into these 2-player decks. And I think it's cool you combine it to 4-player game. I heard that the long 2-player version where you combine both the base game and the Clone Wars game just makes it's fun. It's a really better version of the game. And I like it. I really did like it. The only issue is my wife likes to play one person. Like, if she wants to be the good guys, she's only going to play them. She's never really interested in switching them up because she sees me play as the other guys. She's like, I'm good. I'm like, don't you want to try out the different strats? She goes, no. So if I want to play as the good guys ever, I have to find someone else to play with that doesn't want to play as the good guys. That's my only complaint. It's more so about how my wife chooses to play board games. But regardless, it's a fun game. The Clone Wars Edition just has a much higher strategic version of the game. It's much less luck-based. It wasn't really too luck-based, but it just makes it a lot different strategies. You can go after the droid strategy. You can go after the As always, the bounty hunter strategy, you can go after going towards your class. There's a lot of different strategies you can do in this version as opposed to the first version. So I would say this is better than the first version. And I did a before you buy video on this. If you want to go to my channel, it's actually one of my most popular videos with like 4.4 thousand views right now. Now let's continue. Next game, which I want to do more content on, and I'm surprised I got it for like the 50 bucks I got it for. This is Marvel Zombies, number 23. Marvel Zombies is a very good system. It's Zombicide, and Zombicide has a decent system. But when I played this game first, and then I played other Zombicides, and honestly, I don't really have too much of a desire to go back or go away from the Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies is very interesting being the zombies. I did like the fact you can play as the heroes as well, but I mostly like playing as the Marvel Zombies. Not only am I a huge video game IP fan, if you see me talking about any other nerdy stuff, I'm a huge nerd overall, but I grew up on comic books. I actually collected until I got married because I was spending 120, 150 bucks on comic books a month, and now I have a family and a wife and cats and a home and all this fun stuff. So I started being an adult. But Marvel Zombies, and I don't have that much money. Marvel Zombies is a great game based on a great storyline. It is a cooperative game, and I don't like cooperative games, but this one's good for 1 to 6 players. And there's technically a campaign to it, but really you can just kind of grab the same people to do or grab different people, different characters, do the exact same campaign missions, maybe grab different people for the same campaign missions. It's a very replayable game because it's based on what gets flipped over in the beginning, and it depends on what expansions you have, expansion content. And it is a game which I think is kind of a complaint of mine, but it's more of an optional thing in general. So it's 50-50. Too many games with expandable content just makes it significantly harder if you actually implement the expandable content. When I get expandable content, I don't necessarily want a harder game. I just kind of want a better, more filled out game. But sometimes in this, for instance, if I'm fighting the base game, and you kind of just want to throw in like maybe a Galactus character or something like that, you could just flip Galactus and kind of die immediately type stuff. Same thing happened with, I'm mainly thinking of Elder Scrolls and Deep Rock Galactic that happened in. Now, it's still a super fun time, but when you flip over like 3 expansion cards back to back to back, it feels a lot worse than if they just didn't exist. And you could completely just get one shot and lost, or not one shot, you can just lose in those situations, but that is something for another day. Marvel Zombies is a great game, proudly sitting number 23. I wish I played this more. One of the very few games in my personal collection. One of the very few. I say very few, but honestly it's about like 30, 40. But compared to all the stuff I have for business, it's a very small collection. Very cultured collection as well. Next up, moving on to number 22. I don't know why it's this high, but it is a very fun game. Number 22 is Overboss. Overboss, if you don't know, is a tile placement game based on the Boss Monster universe. Created by Brotherwise Games. It's a 1 to 5 player game that has 2 different modes to it. You can have a take that mode where it's a lot more involved with each other's players and abilities. And then there is a no take that mode where you're kind of just drawing and placing. What happens is, it's kind of like Cascadia almost, where you have a row of tiles, you have a row of smaller square tiles that are chained together. Whenever you grab one, you have to grab the entire row. So you have to grab the tile and the mini boss, or whatever might be one of the smaller squares. And you're going to put one of the smaller squares on one of the bigger squares. And you have a little section in your dungeon in the bottom right of the board where you can put holding stuff in case you don't want to commit to putting it on the board yet. Because once you place it down, it's almost guaranteed it's stuck there the entire game. Overboss is a fun set collection tile placement game. And I know I'm saying that these are all fun and cool, but notice how I'm not saying it's unique in too many senses. It's still a tile placement where you can play as a 3x3 or 4x4, depending on how big of a map you want to do. But I will say there is some ingenuity to it in the sense of you're trying to put a certain kind of minions in rows, in columns, in chains, and it depends, and then the sets of the tiles aren't too wild, but it is justifiable to buying if you like video game IPs, if you like the Boss Monster universe, and if you like Brotherwise games. I'm a huge Brotherwise fanboy. I can actually show you the game right here, Overboss. They just sent 2 more copies for a Play-Doh library this year, and I love working with Brotherwise games whenever I can. Really hoping to work with them on the Brandon Sanderson RPG and deck building game pretty soon, but who knows? Hopefully they send me a copy of Super Boss Monster, but that is, we'll see. Jillian, if you're watching this, hit me up. I would love to do some content for Super Boss Monster, but that is neither here nor there. Overboss is a pretty fun game. I wish I had the expandable content as well in there. I don't have some limited edition promo cards for character cards in this game, or I think 2 types of tiles, but I don't, maybe it's in here, I just didn't see. I haven't opened this specific version, but I still have the one they sent me from last year, which is why I was able to give one away at Caravan Convoy this year. Thank you so much, Brotherwise, for being sponsors. And anyways, yeah, I actually don't know too many sponsor games in here, which is pretty cool. I like that my list is independent of a lot of my sponsored games, but you made it, Brotherwise Games. And I think I talked about Boss Monster. If not, it's probably going to be my top 20 for sure. And my last game on this list, number 21, is one of the first games that got me into the hobby in general, that put me in here full time, is DC Deck Building Games. Now, Mike and AK, I blame you guys entirely. They're actually some of the people that got me in here at 100%, because during our double dates when we were getting to know each other, they put me on to a few games. I'm a huge comic book guy, and I kept on looking at this game. I've seen this game in Cool Stuff Inc. for a long time, and I played Marvel Munchkin, and I always want to try this game, but it looked a little too complex. And when I talked to people about it, they said, no, it's not that hard. And I was turned off to it a little bit just because I was, Munchkins is light, Munchkin's easy, Carcassone's light. Catan sucks, personally. I like the game fine. I like a lot of the expansions and stuff like that. But the base Catan's all anyone's playing, so I'm like, I'm not playing base Catan anymore, guys. I can't anymore. But DC Deck Building is a fun game. DC Deck Building is a cool, very well themed game, and the one that's specifically on number 21 slot is Dark Knight, which is based on the Dark Knight Metal DC Comics, which is essentially evil Batman, but there's a bunch of different Batman variants because he's the most terrifying person in the whole multiverse of DC, all the new 52. Really cool storyline about evil universes in between the gaps of the 52 main universes I'm not going to go into right now, just because I can nerd out so hardcore. But Batman Who Laughs is like the primary villain of the game, and you're just fighting different types of Batman from DC Dark Knight's Metal. Very well themed. It's this true deck builder, and it's one that you can really just go ham on whatever you want, and no one's really going to fight you on it because there's a lot of copies on the deck, which I think is good, because if someone takes the only card in the game that I didn't even have a chance of getting, I'm going to get mad. But if you buy one, sometimes you don't really want 2 of the same card. It doesn't really behoove you as much. Again, that is DC Deck Building. This is also my personal collection. I like seeing some of my personal collection in here. But yeah, that's everything for today. Let me know what games you like that I listed. Let me know what games you'd like me to see or maybe do before buy a video on next. I'm going to do my last 20. That noise needs to stop making it so much. Let me know what you guys think about these videos. Which of these games should I do before you buy a video on? Sorry if I'm talking too fast. This is what happens when I'm standing up. Let me know if I should sit down in the next video. My stutter's coming back a little bit. But peace out, have a great day, God bless, and I hope to see you at a table soon. This is Caravan Convoy, Caravan Dan, guy signing out. Sockpile is coming. If you're watching this video, Sockpile is probably live on Kickstarter. It's only live for 10 days, and it's a Kickstarter exclusive game. The PNP files will be available more expensive later, so if you want to get access to the game right now, it is a simultaneous print and play game that we will actually be selling some limited physical copies on right now. Go ahead and support if you like supporting Caravan Convoy, Gaming Caravan, all our free events, and YouTube channel that we do here in Central Florida. Peace out, have a great day, God bless, and I hope to see you at a table soon!